Raised bed companies want you paying $200 for cedar boxes that need constant watering and fertilizing. But German forest gardeners figured out 400 years ago that you can build self-watering, self-fertilizing mounds by burying rotting logs that store water like batteries and feed plants for decades. They just turned yard waste into permanent raised beds for $8, using wood anyone would burn or trash. This is the garden industry's decomposition nightmare, a backyard grower who refuses to buy their irrigation systems and soil amendments. Watch them perform fungal alchemy that turns dead trees into living fertility. Hugelkultur applies the physics of an accelerated forest floor, compressed into a single high-yield mound. By adopting this architecture, a grower ceases to be a dependent consumer of retail soil products. Instead, they become a manager of a closed-loop biological engine. To understand the mechanics of this system, we have to look at the harsh realities of the 1600s Germanic agricultural regions. Farmers here battled highly marginal, sandy soils and highly erratic rainfall. Someone walking through the woods made a crucial observation. Fallen trees created distinct microclimates. During intense droughts, the vegetation immediately surrounding decomposing logs remained lush and green, fed by the moisture locked inside the rotting timber. Farmers weaponized this observation. They began deliberately burying logs to create artificial forest floor conditions in their own fields. The practice quickly moved across Eastern Europe as mountain farmers built massive wood core mounds to secure reliable harvests on steep, unforgiving terrain. The historical record confirms that dead timber is highly valuable biological infrastructure. Hugelkultur converts useless yard debris into permanent, living soil architecture. This animation reveals the internal physics of a buried log. As the wood physically breaks down, its rigid cellular structure degrades into millions of hollow, microscopic tubes. These tubes act as active capillaries, physically pulling water deep into the wood and holding it in place against gravity. Because of this dense cellular network, a single mature log can absorb and store over 100 gallons of water, creating an underground reservoir that outlasts surface droughts. Fungal hyphae detect this moisture and aggressively penetrate the wood structure. They dismantle the timber cell by cell, extracting complex polymers like lignin and cellulose. These fungi form a direct pipeline with the roots of the crops planted above. The plants send liquid sugars down into the soil to feed the fungi, and in exchange, the fungi push the extracted nitrogen and phosphorus straight up into the plant roots. All of this biological activity comes with a secondary thermodynamic benefit. The intense metabolic friction of bacteria and fungi eating the wood generates a continuous exothermic reaction. This reaction warms the internal mound by 5 to 10 degrees above the ambient soil temperature. It functions as an underground radiator, protecting roots from early frosts and extending the agricultural season by weeks on both ends. A rotting log is an incredible piece of multi-tool biology. It is simultaneously a hydrological battery, a nutrient pipeline, and a thermal reactor. Building this structure requires specific debris. There is a precise sweet spot for material selection. Fresh green wood aggressively steals nitrogen from the surrounding soil to fuel its initial decay, while totally rotten punk wood has zero structural integrity left to offer. Growers find the perfect stage of partial decomposition using a standard shovel. If the blade penetrates 1 to 2 inches and then stops against solid resistance, the wood is chemically and structurally primed for burial. Dense hardwoods like oak or maple break down slowly. They provide a rigid, long-lasting foundation to power the biological engine for 20 years or more. Softwoods like pine take the opposite path. They decompose rapidly, providing an immediate flush of fertility, but causing mechanical collapse in 5 to 10 years. Certain species guarantee mechanical failure. Allopathic woods, like black walnut, secrete chemical inhibitors that poison crops. On the other hand, highly rot-resistant species, like cedar or redwood, simply refuse to break down at the required biological rate. The exact operational lifespan and decay rate of the bioreactor are entirely dictated by the grower's material selection on day 1. Construction begins by excavating a 6 to 12-inch trench along an east-west axis. This anchors the structure firmly, maximizes sun exposure on the broad face of the mound, and captures subsurface water flow. The structural core is assembled next. The largest 12-inch logs are placed lengthwise in the trench, followed by progressively smaller branches stacked perpendicular to it. This crisscross matrix requires gaps for aerobic decomposition, preventing toxic putrefaction. It's capped with inverted sod, forcing microbes to digest the timber. This carbon influx vacuums soil nitrogen, so growers preload the wood with liquid nitrogen. Finally, topsoil completes the architecture for under $8. This sequence is heavily engineered. The precise layering perfectly manages the turbulent transition from carbon breakdown to nitrogen release, preventing early system failure. Before planting, the mound undergoes a mechanical patience test. The grower walks the ridge. If the structure feels springy, it needs more time. Once a footstep feels solid, initial settling is complete. Year 1 crop selection is highly specific. Growers deploy heavy-feeding vining plants like squash or pumpkins. These plants tolerate erratic nitrogen levels, and their aggressive root systems physically bind the loose soil structure together. Irrigation protocols shift entirely. Shallow, daily watering is abandoned. The grower applies deep, infrequent soaking to ensure water penetrates the soil and fully saturates the deep wood core. The massive rate of carbon breakdown causes a mechanical phenomenon called subsidence. Over the first 12 months, the physical mass of the mound will shrink by 20 to 30%. The surface vegetables harvested in year 1 are a nice bonus, but they are a byproduct. The real goal of year 1 is purely stabilizing the true crop below, the expanding fungal network. By year 2, the wood core achieves a true biological sponge state. External irrigation requirements drop to near zero, deployed only during extreme extended droughts. White rot fungi digest tough lignins, clearing paths for brown rot fungi to dismantle cellulose. Bacteria colonize this network, continuously fixing nitrogen and releasing bioavailable minerals. Over 20 years, this biological process entirely converts the massive timber foundation into incredibly fertile, highly stable humus. Once the basic physics are understood, the architecture scales rapidly. Growers adapt the linear mounds into circular keyhole designs for centralized, continuous composting, or integrate them directly into land swales to passively capture rainwater overflow. They engineer polyculture systems through species stacking, positioning shade-tolerant fruit trees on the cooler north face, while heavy-feeding annual vegetables dominate the sun-drenched south face. The success of these systems relies entirely on applied physics and soil biology. Wood holds water, fungi release nutrients, decay accelerates life. The garden supply cartels want you buying $200 cedar boxes and $50 drip systems every year. But German forest gardeners proved 400 years ago that permanent fertility comes from buried logs. Unearth the History is here to bring you the techniques they can't sell. Start your Hugelkultur rebellion today. Reclaim your yard waste and hit subscribe below to keep the agricultural resistance growing.